The story of Israel in the Old Testament is a messy human drama: kings, prophets, faith, betrayal, and divine intervention. By 2 Kings chapter 8, Elijah is gone, and Elisha now walks a divided, war-torn land. This isn't about grand battles, but personal encounters that shape a nation's destiny. The throne is fragile, alliances shift, and a prophet's word can mean life or death. In this chapter, stories of faith, ambition, and weak kings intertwine, painting a picture of a kingdom on the brink here. The spiritual and political are inseparable. A king's fate depends on his faithfulness to God. When leaders stray, famine and war follow, but God still works through flawed people. Elisha, as God's voice, influences history in unpredictable ways. This is a microcosm of the Bible's larger story, God's persistent, mysterious relationship with his people. As we explore these ancient stories, we confront timeless questions of power, faith, and redemption. The chapter opens with the Shunammite woman, whose son Elisha once raised from the dead. Elisha warns her of a coming famine. She leaves her home, trusting his word. After 7 years, she returns to find her land seized. With no legal recourse, she appeals directly to the king. By divine timing, the king is hearing Gehazi recount Elisha's miracles, including her own story. As Gehazi speaks, the woman arrives, living proof of the prophet's power. The king, moved by this coincidence, orders her property and its income restored. Her faith is rewarded with complete restoration. This moment shows God's justice and grace breaking through in personal, unexpected ways. Even in national crisis, God cares for those who trust him. The scene shifts to Damascus, where King Ben Hadad of Aram is gravely ill. He sends Hazael, his trusted official, to ask Elisha if he'll recover. Elisha tells Hazael to assure the king he'll recover, but privately reveals Ben Hadad will die. Elisha's intense gaze unsettles Hazael, and the prophet weeps for the suffering Hazael will bring to Israel. Elisha foresees fire, slaughter, and cruelty at Hazael's hands. Hazael protests, but Elisha confirms, "You will be king of Aram." Hazael returns, murders Ben Hadad, and seizes the throne, fulfilling the prophecy. This dark turn shows how ambition and violence can reshape nations. Even God's prophets grieve over the pain that power can unleash. Back in Judah, Joram, son of Jehoshaphat, reigns, but his marriage to Athaliah, daughter of Ahab and Jezebel, brings disaster. Joram abandons God, leads Judah into idolatry, and loses Edom in a failed rebellion. His failures are both political and spiritual, seen as divine judgment, yet God preserves Judah for David's sake, keeping his covenant alive. Joram dies unlamented. His son Ahaziah takes the throne but repeats his father's mistakes. Influenced by his mother, Ahaziah continues the same evil path. He visits his wounded uncle, King Joram of Israel, after battle with Hazael. This family alliance sets the stage for coming judgment and upheaval. The reigns of Joram and Ahaziah are warnings. Alliances with evil bring ruin. Their stories show how quickly faithfulness can be lost through compromise. Amid political intrigue and violence, echoes of Christ's story emerge. The Shunammite woman's restoration foreshadows resurrection and redemption, what Christ brings to all. Elisha, a prophet who heals and raises the dead, prefigures Jesus' compassion and power. Elisha's tears over Israel's future suffering mirror Jesus weeping over Jerusalem. Both grieve for the consequences of sin, showing God's heart for his people. The failed kings contrast with Jesus, the perfect king who rules by sacrificial love, not force. God's justice and compassion are seen in small moments, restoring the lost, preserving a covenant. Even in chaos, God's faithfulness endures, keeping hope alive. The lamp of David's line burns on, pointing to Christ, the true light of the world. 2 Kings 8 reminds us God's story of redemption continues even in the darkest times. Are you ready for the next chapter? Just click here to go straight to it.